Kazampo, and welcome back to Expressions. This is your producer Kezawamo, and today we have a writer, a poet, Mr. Rizvhan Joshi, here in the studio to share with us a few of his pieces and also express his love for writing. I found out about Rizvhan through an Instagram page called The Nomadic Writer, and after reading all the pieces that he had posted on that page, I knew I had to get Rizvhan on this segment of Expressions to share his work of art with all of my listeners. So stay tuned and let's get started.
My name is Rizvhan, and I think I started writing at a very young age, like especially with stories and all. I used to write, I can't remember when, but for poetry I think I started when I was in class 7. Back then I used to write simple poetry. Like I think I wrote a poem for Teachers' Day. I think that's when I started, like, oh okay, I can write poetry, so I can rhyme, and that's when it began.
So tell us, Rizvhan, what made you want to write? Was there like a particular moment or an experience that might have triggered the writing part in you? Do you remember any of those?
Yeah, I think I started writing because back then I wasn't very good with words. I mean, when I spoke, I think for me to express myself was very hard. So that's when I started writing. Even right now, like I'm communicating emotionally, I don't think I'm very good at it. So that's why I think I started writing.
Okay, so you communicate through writing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. So yes, Rizvhan, do you have someone that you look up to when you write? Do you have any inspiration?
I think there's quite a lot of people, but right now there's this writer on Instagram. His name is Christopher Poindexter, I think.
Oh,
His writing, and there's this Tyler Nutt, and of course there's Rupi Kaur, and back then there was Rabindranath Tagore, yeah, him, and quite a few people, yeah.
Yeah, so I learned that you write to emotionally express yourself. So when do you usually write?
I think it depends on what I'm like going through or thinking about. Sometimes I don't write for myself. If I see a friend going through something, I write about it. And if I need motivation in my life, or if somebody needs motivation in their life, I write about it.
So you write for yourself and for others. That's amazing. And yes, Rizvhan, tell us, why is your Instagram page called The Nomadic Writer? Could you please tell us a little bit about that one?
Well, I picked that name because, first of all, nomadic means because we live in the mountains of Bhutan, and I thought the term nomadic would be quite interesting. And writer, of course, I'm a writer, so yeah, that's why.
Okay, that's great. And yes, I read all the pieces that you posted on your page, and I noticed that all of your poems and the pieces that you have written are very hopeful. It talks about love and it talks about finding strength and motivation. So could you please tell us a little bit about that part of your writing? What kind of writings do you enjoy the most, and what do you focus on most of the times when you usually write?
I think I mostly focus on romantic poems. I think if you go through my page, it's mostly that. Because like I think I'm a romantic at heart ever since. I used to watch a lot of rom-coms, like How I Met Your Mother and all. I think that's how I got inspired in writing like romantic poems, but that's not what I only write. Of course, I write others.
So when I was going through your pieces, most of your pieces, there was a she that you referred to. So could you please tell us a little bit about that one? Do you have someone in mind when you write these pieces, like when you write these poems?
Yeah, I have someone in mind when I write, but clearly depends on the person who I'm writing about though. It's not the one special person. I think it can be a lot of various people. And sometimes like I talk to my friends and they might go through a lot of things. It can be my mom also, and my aunt, or my friends, or if I'm seeing a person, about her also. That's how we begin with she.
Okay, that's amazing, beautiful. And yes, Rizvhan, moving on to a more general question now. I just want to get your opinion on this. Why do you think reading and writing and just literature in general, why do you think it is important for an individual?
Let's start off with reading. I think people need to read because, first of all, like knowledge, of course, you need to gain knowledge from reading. And I think if you want to explore the world like in depth, and sometimes you can't travel, so I think reading is the best way to escape from a lot of things. And for writing is mostly about expressing yourself and how you feel, whether you're happy or sad or depressed, or if you want to say something. I think that's where writing comes in.
So, I think I heard that there's a lot of challenges that a writer faces. I heard something about a writer's block. So do you have some similar challenges or any other personal challenges that you face while you're writing?
Yeah, I think I go through a lot of it, like writer's block, like you said. Sometimes like I start writing and halfway through I can't complete it because sometimes I'm not like in that state of mind to write. And sometimes like if I want to write about something, I guess I'm not emotionally invested in it, so I really can't write about it.
Okay. And do you have a count of all the pieces that you have written till date?
Well, I've written quite a few. Like right now I have the page, The Nomadic Writer. Before I used to post it on my personal page. So it's quite a lot, I think around 30, 40.
And have you ever thought of taking writing as a career?
Yes, I think I have. Yeah, especially in college, I wrote a lot, not only poems, but stories. And since then I was like, oh, maybe I should be a writer or probably some content creator. So I wanted to pursue in that too, but yeah, things change.
Okay. And yes, you have also considered taking writing as a career before, and being a writer, you might have also understood the market here in Bhutan. So could you please give us your opinion on the scope of writers in Bhutan?
I think compared to before, right now, for writers, it's better. I wouldn't say it's the best. I think it's still tough. Like, let's say you want to write a novel or you want to publish a book. I think it's still hard for a writer to stand on his own feet, like just by publishing a book, because the market is quite not there yet.
Very true. And do you have any future plans for the writer part of you?
Yeah, I do. I'm writing this biography about my late father right now. I mean, I've been writing about it like for the past 5 years. Still can't complete it. I think a lot of research, and I have to meet a lot of people, and of course writer's block, like you said. I don't know what to write about. So that's what I'm working on right now. And for my poetry, I'll be on my Instagram, or I might publish a book someday. And of course, and someday I might start even writing romantic novels if I have the time.
Okay, that's amazing. I'm really excited, and I will be looking forward to all the books that will be coming up in the future. So yes, from here on, we have Rizvhan with all of his pieces that he has brought in today. He'll be reading it out and sharing some background on all of those pieces. So stay tuned.
So I think the first one I'd like to start off is the one everybody likes, I guess. I think a lot of people who message me saying this is very good, and I think it's more of a quote than of a poetry. And this one reads, "You can't conquer the world with the lens of your wit, but with the size of your heart." To motivate myself, I wrote this. It says you can't conquer the world with the lens of your wit. Like, no matter how, even if you're smart or if you have the knowledge, but if you don't have the heart to do it, then it's not possible. This is another one of my favorite. This one reads, "She danced in the rain like she let herself go. Thunder was the beat and raindrops her rhythm. She was chaos bottled up in kindness. Maybe she was the rain herself." So I wrote this about a person I was seeing before. So like, this is like a way to describe her and how she is. I think that's how I wrote it. It talks about a person who's like carefree, and it doesn't matter what people say about her. Like, that's what I was trying to say. Just like the rain, like free-spirited. So the third one, for me, I think the message of spreading love is what I'd like try to put in my poetry. Like, there's a lot of people out there like spreading this message, I think, especially a lot of popular artists right now. Like, loving yourself is spreading love, and loving yourself, I think, what's most important right now, especially in this society. So like artists like BTS, I think they spread that same message, and I wanted to spread that same message. So I think this is another piece of mine. It says, "In all you do, may love be the foundation. Make hatred obsolete." This one was, I wrote it for my friend, actually. He was going through a tough time, and although I was there for him, but I wanted to like convey a message, because a lot of people go through it, I think. A lot of self-hate and self-loathing. So I wanted to spread that message, saying that it's okay to love yourself. Things will be okay. So I think I have a lot of other pieces I haven't finished, like especially on loving yourself. I think, and that part I'll be posting it on my page very soon. This one reads, "A flower so delicate, yet as tough as rocks buried under. A light so dim, yet shines bright as the sun in her own comfort. A curious woman, lost in the present, a careless wanderer, reliable to all, as jolly as the sea, yet furious as thunder. Spends half her time with her friends, and half her time in deep slumber." So this one, like, I posted it on my personal page. I have this friend, and she said to write about her, and so this is what I wrote. So I recently wrote this poem about a king. I think especially after I saw a photo about him when he was journeying in the south because of this COVID, because of the pandemic, and when I saw that photo, I wanted to write about him and what our people should do, actually. So this one reads, "A king can sit by his throne and watch as things unfold, but our king marches through the south, and as he upholds his duty, his promises to his people, losing sleep, stepping on needles, with possible exposure to lethal viruses, walking through dense forests, humidity at its highest on this monsoon climate. He carries his country on his back, a lion, hearted leader, risking it all so his people can be safe through this crisis. Sold his assets so his people will not be empty in pockets. Enough for a roof above their head, a bed, and a food to spread on the table. I think people should try to read whatever it may be, like whatever topics it's related to. I think reading is, there's this quote that says knowledge is power, so people should read whatever genre or whatever the book is related to. And I think writing depends on people. I think like some people don't want to write, but if people have like trouble expressing themselves, I think people should like pick up a diary and start writing what they feel.
And with this, we have come to the end of this week's segment of Expressions. Thank you, Rizvhan, for taking out some time and sharing these beautiful pieces with all of us. And to all of my listeners, thank you for joining us. We will be back next week with another new segment only on BBS Radio. Goodbye.